Newsfirst at 9. Headlines.
Good evening and welcome to Weekend Primetime News, live from the Newsfirst Centre in Colombo. I'm Florin Rajendran and these are your headlines. Sinhala and Tamil New Year dawns tomorrow. Health authorities warn of the need for caution when using fireworks. Interpol assistance sought to apprehend international LTTE leaders Nediyavan and Vinayagam. 3 lives lost to drunk driving in Kalmune. Close to 590 drunk drivers arrested in a 48-hour period. 54 minor reservoirs in the Mahavali B zone dry up. Farmers face severe hardships. And on Sports First, India's Deepika Pallikal advances to the final of the Texas Open squash tournament. Let's now cross over to the main news desk for these stories and much more.
Well, thank you very much, Florin. A very good evening to you. Welcome to Weekend Primetime News. I'm Shahan Rampati. Starting off with a look at those stories in detail, authorities had decided to seek the support of Interpol to apprehend alleged international leaders of the LTTE, Nediyavan and Vinayagam. Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rona says that the local leaders Gobi, Tevihan and Appan, who were killed in Nadun Kearney recently, were acting under the instructions of Nediyavan and Vinayagam.
Sri Lanka
Gobi, Appan and Tevihan, who attempted to create communal disharmony in Sri Lanka and engaged in terrorist activity, were killed the day before yesterday. However, they were acting on the instructions of LTTE members Nediyavan and Vinayagam, who are currently abroad. There is a warrant for Vinayagam's arrest. Steps are being taken to arrest him. A red notice has been obtained through Interpol for this warrant. We hope to secure a red notice for the arrest of Nediyavan too in the near future, so that action can be taken through Interpol. We are also collecting intelligence on other people who are part of this network.
Speaking at a meeting held in Batticaloa yesterday, Sri Lanka Muslim Congress senior and government minister Bashir Segu Dawood commented on the international inquiry on Sri Lanka.
A decision was taken at the Human Rights Council in Geneva that an international inquiry into Sri Lanka should be held. Everyone involved in communalist national politics has already taken advantage of this decision. Sinhalese nationalist leaders too have taken advantage of this. I have seen many political leaders who have obtained the support of the people after constantly harping on this international inquiry and promising to stand against it. But in their minds, they are happy about it. At the same time, I have also seen political leaders in the north and east who are trying to secure the support of the Tamil people, saying that they secured the international inquiry. This is astounding politics. Those people who shouted that there is no need for an international inquiry have received the support of the majority of this country. But in their minds, these people are happy that there is an international inquiry.
A mere 48 hours have passed since the police launched an operation to apprehend drunk drivers to prevent road accidents in the festive season. However, already 586 drivers have been arrested. The police say that 15,000 officers will be deployed from today to apprehend drunk drivers. Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rona said that this evening that 23 lives were lost in 19 fatal accidents reported from several parts of the island over the past 72 hours. Meanwhile, 3 more lives were lost to drunk driving in a road accident that occurred in Kalmune at dawn today. The accident occurred at about 3:45 this morning near the Juma Masjid on the Akkarepattu Kalmune road. A head-on collision had occurred between 2 private buses, one of them a luxury service, plying from Akkarepattu to Vaunia and from Colombo to Akkarepattu. 3 people, including 2 women, were killed while 19 others were injured. The deceased have been identified as 48-year-old M.Y. Salima, a resident of Saindamarudu, 55-year-old Ibrahim V.V. Fatima, a resident of Akkarepattu, and Salman Vaiz, a resident of Armour Street, Colombo 12. Of the 19 injured, 15 were admitted to Ashraf Hospital in Kalmune, 2 were admitted to the Kalmune Base Hospital, while another 2 were taken to the Batticaloa Base Hospital. The police say that the drivers of the buses who were among the injured are being treated at the Kalmune Base Hospital. Preliminary investigations had revealed that the driver of the bus plying from Akkarepattu to Vaunia had been drinking since last night. The police media spokesperson said a half-empty bottle of liquor was discovered near the driver's seat. He has not been arrested as yet. Police commenced a special island-wide operation to apprehend drunk drivers on the 10th of this month. The police media unit released these figures on arrest of drunk drivers in the 48-hour period ending at 6 o'clock this morning. Still to come on the news tonight. Inferno destroys over 150 homes in coastal Chile. More details on the international desk. Prime Minister D.M. Jayaratne wished President Mahinda Rajapaksa for the Sinhala and Tamil New Year today at Carlton House in Tangol.
The Prime Minister visited Carlton House accompanied by family members in keeping with the New Year traditions, was afforded a warm welcome by the President. Subsequently, the host and visitors engaged in cordial conversation.
The Sinhala and Tamil New Year will dawn in a few more hours from now. Now, the city of Colombo was dense today with people doing the last-minute New Year shopping.
Sweetmeats are a mainstay of New Year celebrations, and while rural folk tend to prepare these sweetmeats themselves at home, urban dwellers find that they do not have the opportunity to do so. Newsfirst cameras captured shoppers arriving in hordes today to purchase the sweetmeats they require. This is what traders have to say on their business this year. We also looked into the preparations made by the matriarchs of households for the preparation of food for the new year, for which the auspicious time is 10:17 a.m. Boiling milk in a new pot and preparing milk rice is an age-old tradition. High demand was also evident for fireworks, a staple of New Year celebrations among all people, young and old. Health authorities meanwhile have warned the public to exercise caution when lighting fireworks so as to minimize accidents. Fireworks are a key feature of celebrations for the Sinhala and Tamil New Year. Over the past 2 years, firework-related accidents were minimal. This year too, the only requirement to ensure there are no accidents is your caution.
Now, special public transport services have been introduced for the festive season for the convenience of people making a commute to and from Colombo this festive season.
Additional General Manager of the Department of Railways, Nalka Bandara, says that while sufficient train services are in place, in the event that there is a spike in the number of commuters, preparations have been made to introduce additional train services.
Sri Lanka
The Department of Railways, SLTB, and the Ministry of Private Transport Services are carrying out a joint service. Passenger numbers are usually highest at night, so in the event that they are required, we have made preparations to deploy additional trains within an hour. In the event that there are too many commuters for the bus services to handle, we have made arrangements to enable those commuters to travel by train. Preparations have been made.
Meanwhile, while plenty of buses were parked at the private bus terminal in Petra, passengers say there has been a decrease in long-distance services.
I am waiting to leave for Ampara. Although there are more buses, I do not believe they are meeting the passengers' requirements. I have been waiting, but there is no buses yet to Mathura. I have been waiting, but there are no buses to my hometown of Madrigiriya.
However, bus drivers and owners say that there is a reduction in people travelling home for the holidays.
The crowd was normal today in spite of the holidays. There were no big crowds.
Nevertheless, the chairman of the National Transport Commission, Renuka Pereira, said that sufficient bus services have been introduced.
As the National Transport Commission, we believe we were able to successfully provide services to those passengers who wish to travel out of Colombo. Furthermore, we will be providing this service tomorrow and the day after as well. And for those who wish to travel back to Colombo, we will be providing a service commencing from the 16th till the 22nd of this month.
This footage was captured from the central bus stop in Petta today. Chief Superintendent of Operations at the Sri Lanka Transport Board, H.M. Chandrasiri, said there was a reduction in commuters today in comparison with the 2 previous days. He added that extra services have been introduced for commuters wishing to return to Colombo after the holidays.
Total revenue on the 11th was 82 million. The situation has changed completely as of today, the 13th. There are enough buses and the services are continuing. We have made arrangements to introduce additional services on the 16th for people returning from rural areas to Colombo following the New Year.
Now, conducting affairs in keeping with the auspicious time is an important feature of the Sinhala and Tamil New Year. Now, here are this year's auspicious times.
As per the auspicious times compiled by the New Year Committee of the Department of Cultural Affairs, the New Year will dawn at 7:37 a.m. tomorrow. The Punya Kala has been determined to be between 1:13 a.m. and 2:01 p.m. tomorrow. It has been deemed auspicious to dress yourself in white raiment, turn southwards and light the stove to prepare milk rice mixed with cane sugar, accompanied by a sweet meat, at 10:17 a.m. tomorrow. It has also been deemed auspicious to conduct transactions at 11:05 a.m. tomorrow, dressed in white raiment, facing southwards. This is also the auspicious time to consume food. The auspicious time for the anointing of the head with oils is 11:16 a.m. on Wednesday the 16th of April, while the auspicious colour for attire is green and the auspicious direction south. The auspicious time to set off to work has been determined to be 6:16 a.m. on Thursday the 17th of April, while the auspicious attire should be of a golden colour. The auspicious meal has been determined to be milk rice mixed with sesame and jaggery, while the auspicious direction is west.
Pack animals are a major part of village life, and come the dawn of the new year, these animals too are given special prominence. Newsfirst Stephanie Lazarus filed this report.
The Sinhalese culture is built on a strong foundation of Buddhism, and this could be the reason why the culture is imbued with a remarkable amount of love and kindness shown to both mankind and animals alike.
During the New Year, villagers pay special attention to their pack animals. These animals are an integral part of village life. In a show of gratitude to their beloved animals, the farmers cease work in the fields several days prior to the dawn of the New Year in order to ensure that their animals too are well rested. New Year rituals, including the anointing of the head with various oils, are even performed on the animals.
A major earthquake measuring a magnitude of 7.5 on a Richter scale struck off the coast of the Solomon Islands in the southern Pacific Ocean today, triggering a tsunami warning in the area. The quake, initially reported by the U.S. Geological Survey as a magnitude 7.7, was shallow, only 35 kilometers below the seabed, and centered 113 kilometers south of Kira Kira in the Solomon Islands, which have been racked by a series of strong quakes in recent days. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center said it was not yet known whether a tsunami had actually been generated, but a warning was in effect in the Solomon Islands, Vanuatu and Papua New Guinea. Meanwhile, a large forest fire has destroyed more than 150 homes in the Chilean port city of Valparaiso. Thousands of people are being evacuated from the city to escape the flames, which have been fanned by strong winds coming in from the Pacific. President Michelle Bachelet put the army in charge of the evacuation after declaring the city 110 kilometers west of Santiago a catastrophe zone. There are no reported deaths, but many are suffering from smoke inhalation. Large parts of Valparaiso are without electricity. The city's mayor, Jorge Castro, told Chile's national television that refuges have been set up for the thousands of residents that have been forced to flee the fire. The battle to contain the blaze has been hampered by strong Pacific coast winds that have pushed the fire deeper into the city's neighborhoods. Well, here's what's coming up on Sports First tonight. Wilson Kipsang and Edna Kiblaga triumph at the London Marathon as Mo Farah toils. More details on Sports First. Following a long and tiring journey, the round-the-world team that is creating awareness on the World Conference on Youth 2014 arrived in New York, USA. The delegation is due to meet and interact with members of youth clubs and societies in the US tomorrow. Soon after landing in New York, the General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Youth Club Federation, Saman Kumar Ranavira, shared these thoughts with Newsfirst Ramesh Irugal Bandara on the journey so far.
Around the world in 40 days.
ආසියානු කලාපයේ තරුණ කණ්ඩායම් නිරීක්ෂකයන් වශයෙන් සහ ඔවුන් සහභාගී වශයෙන් ඉදිරිපත් වීමට උන්ගේ
The youth of Asian countries expressed their interest to participate in this conference as youth delegates and as observers. The youth in these countries noted that it is a historic opportunity that we have received to host the youth conference, as it is the first time it is being hosted in Asia. Today we landed in the United States, and it will also be a novel experience for our team undoubtedly. We expect the youth of this country as well as the European countries to join us in this conference. The past 17 days of our journey has been very successful. We also wish to extend our warm wishes for the upcoming Sinhala and Tamil New Year from the United States.
කිරියෙන් පැණියෙන් ඉතිරෙන බොහොම ප්‍රීතිමත් සුබ නවසරක් වේවා කියලා අපි ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරන්න කැමතියි.
While the country prepares to usher in the Sinhala and Tamil New Year, the people of Kukulapula in Mahayangania are facing a dire threat of wild elephant incursions. Most recently, a wounded pachyderm has been roaming around the Alakolamulla reservoir in the village. On the 24th of this month, Newsfirst reported on the death of a wild elephant on the banks of this reservoir. Our reporter says that the elephant, which has come to the area now, appears to have a gunshot wound on one of its legs. Area residents say that repeated requests made of wildlife officials to retrieve this animal and relocate it have fallen on deaf ears. When Newsfirst made inquiries of the assistant warden of the Galkada Park at the Dambana Wildlife Office, we were told that there has been a delay in administering treatment to this animal as a veterinarian attached to the office has been carrying out other duties. And with one of our headline-making stories tonight, up next is Action TV.
Recent steps taken by the Ministry of Irrigation and Water Resource Management to establish an irrigation museum and an irrigation education centre for those showing enthusiasm for the subject could be considered to be actions to fulfill a national responsibility given this nation's proud history when it comes to irrigation technology. Nevertheless, there is a duty that has been vested in this ministry to ensure the sustenance of the irrigation system of this country that goes beyond establishing museums and education centres. The Ministry of Irrigation and Water Resource Management comprises of a department and an authority that are dedicated to this purpose.
The Department of Irrigation and the Mahavali Authority have a major task to fulfill this year. There is no shortage in labour. We recently recruited a large number of persons filling all cadre vacancies. But there is another group here that was not recruited by me. I went from floor to floor and asked this question. I asked the people who were here on a separate foundation. Some said they were management assistants. I asked them how they could be management assistants when in order to become a management assistant, you must pass a state examination. I asked them who granted them the appointment. A lady there said that she was the one who made the appointments. There are 1,800 people in this department who are appointed in this fashion.
More grievous than the ad hoc recruitment of cadre is to disregard the maintenance of reservoirs and waterways, a primary responsibility of this ministry. This footage, which appears to show ruins of an irrigation system of a bygone era, is in fact footage of the present state of the minor irrigation system in the Mahaweli B zone in the Polonnaruwa district. 54 of the 55 minor reservoirs in the zone have not undergone any renovation since the change of government in 1994.
For 3 years running, we have asked that these be renovated and be put back into use. The anecots are broken. The waterways are dysfunctional. Government officials have thrown us from the frying pan into the fire.
This piece of machinery is a symbol of steps taken by the Mahaweli authority about 6 months ago to remove silt and renovate the minor reservoirs in the Mahaweli B zone in response to the complaints of the agrarian community. About 6 months ago, the Mahaweli authority abandoned this piece of machinery near the Aluttoy reservoir in Arlagangvilla after using it to remove silt from the reservoir over 2 days. As per the forecasts of the ministry, in the coming season, about 150,000 hectares of farmland in the Polonnaruwa district could face a chronic shortage of water. This forecast was based on the rains. However, given the fact that these 54 minor reservoirs are incapable of holding any water, even if there is any rain, it is evident that these farmers have been facing severe hardships over several years. An irrigation education centre could be established in this area to open the eyes of not only the irrigation department and the Mahaweli authority, but also the eyes of the ministry to the plight of these farmers. If no steps are taken at all, and if responsible authorities continue to follow a procedure of negligence with regard to the minor irrigation system here, won't this land too become an irrigation museum of sorts? Minister of Irrigation and Water Resource Management, this is over to you.
In more sports news, Indian squash star Deepika Rebecca Pallikal qualified for the final of the Texas Open today. Incidentally, she is the first Indian squash player to advance to the finals of the Texas Open.
Deepika's opponent in the quarter-final match of the Texas Open was Nicolette Fernandez of Guyana. Deepika, who dominated the match from the outset, ended with a 3-2 victory. In the semi-finals, she came up against 8th-ranked Madeline Perry of Ireland. Deepika Pallikal is currently ranked 8th in the world women's squash rankings. Deepika had previously been a brand ambassador of Olé soft drinks in Sri Lanka. The final of the Texas Open is scheduled to be held at about 11:30 Sri Lankan time tonight.
And up next is Sports First investigative journalism segment, The Bitter Truth.
On the 31st of March, the Executive Committee of the Asian Olympic Council convened in Kuwait to reconsider their decision to grant the hosting rights of the 2017 Asian Youth Games to Hambantota. Sri Lanka was granted a grace period of 3 months at this meeting in which to take steps to ensure the Games are held in Hambantota. This is a copy of the letter addressed to the President of the National Olympic Committee, Hemasiri Fernando, by the Chairman of the Asian Olympic Council, informing him of this decision. In order for Sri Lanka to ensure its hosting rights, there are 5 conditions that must be met. 1. Present a comprehensive Games plan. 2. Submit agreements for the construction of the stadium. 3. Present the amount of money allocated for the Games with a government guarantee. 4. A government guarantee that the National Olympic Committee will have the freedom to organize and conduct the Games. And 5. Amend sports laws that clash with the Olympic Charter and the Asian Olympic Council's laws. The chairman of the Asian Olympic Council also notes that a team of representatives will visit Sri Lanka in June to review progress in fulfilling these conditions. He said that a final decision on the hosting rights would be taken based on the team's report. Notwithstanding this letter, international media reports suggest that the Asian Olympic Council had decided at the executive meeting on the 31st of March in Kuwait to take hosting rights away from Sri Lanka. Quoting an official from the Asian Olympic Council, the report said that the hosting rights for the 2017 Asian Youth Games would be given to Indonesia. The report notes that the Asian Olympic Council had already arrived at a decision which would be announced in 3 months. The report claims that the Sri Lankan Parliament is not allowing the Games organisers to execute their duties. Furthermore, the official notes that the location of the Games has only a cricket stadium and that no other construction has been undertaken. Director General of Sports Ranjani Jayakodi, however, does not believe that there is a risk of Sri Lanka losing the hosting rights for the Games. She says that the organisers are prepared to conduct the Games and that a meeting in this regard was held on Wednesday. She added that another meeting will be held on the 23rd of this month. Will Sri Lanka succeed in holding on to the hosting rights for the 2017 Asian Youth Games in Hambantota?
And that's a wrap of Primetime News tonight. Thank you very much for watching. We leave you tonight with a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. And for the Newsfirst team, I'm Shahin Jarangpati, wishing all of our viewers a very happy Sinhala and Tamil New Year. Good night and take care.
Hotline 0114